storage code THO0815038. Okay, how to create the image. Okay, next. Basic principles of lighting: light reflection, light concentration, control over the light percentage, light sensitive material. Okay. These are all the interesting pictures you can do with photography. You got light painting here, light painting there, and then you got fast shutter speeds here, slow shutter speeds here, and then you've got fast shutter speeds and low light photography there. Next. Okay, how to control light. Simple: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. That's really the main keys that you just need to know. Next. Aperture. This is the aperture, so just think about it like the lens of your eye. It opens and closes as the sun brightens. So the brighter the image, the smaller the aperture hole, so it can gather in a nice amount of light. The darker the image, let's say the darker the environment, sorry I should have said, the more light you need to bring in, so the lower the number. It's kind of backwards, you would have thought the lower number. But, okay, so yeah, depth of field. There you go. So you, when you've got a small aperture, there's more detail in the picture. A wider aperture creates less detail and it focuses on the subject in front of it, basically. Okay. Shutter speed. Different type of shutter speeds, fast and slow. Obviously, slow shutter speeds are to let in more light. Faster shutter speeds are to capture action and what a fast shutter speed does, it lets in less light as well. Okay, motion blur. Motion blur is caused by slow shutter speed, and if you look here, this is a slow shutter speed. You can see the fans going around. As it gets faster and faster, it freezes the fan. Like same with here, the water. There's fast water there. That's a fast shutter speed. It's captured every single piece there. With here, that's slow shutter speed, and it's made the water look like smoke because it's captured, more movement. Okay, ISO types. ISO types is the sensitive material that captures the light because our eyes see everything by light and everything is being colours etc. are seen because the light's reflected back into our eyes and brain, which gives us an image. So anyway, yeah, you got your ISO here. So like our brain, there's a light sensitive material, and then you've got one second. So basically, the film has been replaced and turned into a sensor because everything's going digital, and that was the analog days. Everything's digital now. I don't know what they're going to bring next. Alien spaceships or what? Okay, ISO. Now with ISO, yeah, let's say you've got a low ISO, yeah, it will gather in more detail in the image, and it will make it sharper. And let's say for example, you'll be able to see spots on someone's face because of the low ISO. High ISO will create noise in the image and distort the picture. Let's say ISO 32, but the good thing about a higher ISO, yes, it distorts the picture, but it makes you be able to see an image that is very dark, so it brightens up the picture. You have to really go over it and learn it slowly. But I'm just trying to breeze through it quickly. I've made it simple, very simple. But okay, look, ISO 80, clean picture, ISO 800, etc. Okay. Overexposed image, so we've got a bright image here. We've got a bright image here, because there's too much light here. Dark image, obviously, because it's been underexposed, not enough light in there, which makes a silhouette. But people use this as a style as well, and if you like to blast out your pictures, you can use that style. Okay, correct exposure. The background's exposed, the sky's exposed nice and clearly, you can see the clouds, the man's exposed clearly, and this character here has been captured at the right shutter speed because it's obviously did it quickly. Okay, manual exposure versus auto. Automatic, this is what everyone uses at the moment. The computer's doing all the work, figuring out all the mathematics, and it's come up with the wrong, chemical mixture of light exposure. This is when you do it manually because you understand you've exposed the background and the people, and you've put them figures in yourself, and it takes practice to do that. But manual's better when you learn how to do it. But auto can help as well. You'd be surprised nowadays what auto can do. Okay, manual chart. Okay, this is basically what you need to know. It's a lot to take in, but obviously we've got different apertures here, and then we've got depth of field here. That's what the apertures do. f32. Basically, f and aperture mean the same thing. f32, obviously, more detail. You see the man and the background. This one, 1.4. You just see the man and the blurry background. It looks like it's been photoshopped, but it hasn't been photoshopped. Shutter speed. Obviously, slower it is, more blurry the man. The faster it is, the more sharp the man is. And you can capture water. ISO here. Lower the ISO to clean the picture, more detail. High ISO, distorted picture. Okay, next. Camera manual, input phone. Okay, so there's ways you can give it a try and give it a practice if you want to have a little go at photography. You don't have to go buy a big expensive camera to be a photographer. You can just use your phone camera basically. So obviously this is a proper camera, this is a DSLR camera. It's got a lot of buttons and you have to learn that slowly. But what you can do, if you want to be able to control exposure, light exposure, you can download apps and they've got features where you can control the light exposure and you can make your own exposure and make your own beautiful pictures and look like a model on social media. Anyway, phone applications, there's some of the phone applications over here. We got manual, blah blah, and there's probably many more that software producers make. Okay, next. Feel free to ask me any questions. Okay, thank you very much. Next. Any questions? Okay.
Are you a photographer then?
Yes, I'm a professional photographer, yeah. Alright, any more? Okay.
So tell us a little bit about it. So what sort of things do you like?
What sort of things do I photograph?
Yeah.
Also, I photograph people, I photograph animals, landscape, macro photography, and I photograph abstract. Yeah, that's it. Abstract, that's the right word for abstract photography. So basically anything like that looks artistic. Oh, to be honest, yeah, it took me a while to figure it out. When the first time I saw a camera, I thought, what the hell, man, there's all these buttons all over the place. And I thought, forget it, let me just have a little go. Anyway, start fiddling about it. I was like, why is that a mess? It looks terrible, it's all blurry, everything. I was like, oh, yeah. And then, anyway, looked up on a couple of videos on the internet and then searched some stuff. Got a little idea, still couldn't understand it. And then I just kept practicing and practicing slowly, and I started figuring out what this type of things do. And then I went to college. I already understood like some of the basics like ISO, aperture, and shutter speed because I taught it myself. And then I went to college. They just spoke to me more in depth. I thought I knew it all before I went to college, but I went to college and then they told me more in detail. So, and then basically what the teacher told me and taught me is that you need to practice with your camera all the time to get better at it. You can't just know all the paperwork and think you're a pro. You got to actually practice it, you know what I mean, with the camera, because it's a practical thing and it's a visual thing, so you've got to get used to looking at detail. Any more questions?
Do you have different cameras for different things?
Yes, that's right, yeah. Different cameras. You've got sports cameras, which are really fast, and they've got good ISO, so because you have to take a picture at such a fast speed, you have to get an ISO that can go high as well. Because what happens when you take a picture fast, yeah, it darkens everything, you know what I mean? Because it can't capture much light. So what you do, if you get a high ISO, which is more sensitive, so you put a tiny bit of light onto that sensitive paper, you get a nice clear picture. So with sports, they tend to get more expensive cameras, like you see really big ones on the news and stuff like that. It's because they've got good ISO. And then they just take the pictures with the long lenses. Any more?
That's really good. Thank you so much.